Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode, we tackle a nasty, disgusting thermostat housing. And let me show you what's going on right here. As soon as I turn this music off. So what we got going on over here is that right down there, all that crud and corrosion. And then if you look closely in there, wait, let me grab the flashlight. Grab my flashlight and show you what is happening. So, you look in there, it's nothing but coolant all on the block. So, customer's complaint was when they would drive, when they turn the car off, it would just start pouring out coolant. So I did a pressure test on the radiator to see where the leak was coming from, and lo and behold, the thermostat housing, the complete housing, is just done. Like, it's just done. So picked up a new one, ordered a new one. Here's all the parts right here. Got a new one, and we are going to tackle this. I've got most of the coolant already drained out, and we're gonna get to it. I'll put it on a time lapse and start taking off the radiator hoses and stuff like that so I can get to the thermostat housing, and we go complete this job today. Let's do it. Got it out. Will not be. Looks like there's a lot more going on. So let me do this off camera. I got it. But yeah, you can see, and I'm dropping screws, but you can kind of see, yeah, there's like broken pieces of gasket in there. And then all along here, you can kind of see the crud and the coolant buildup. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this area and put the new one on. This is horrible. All right, so you can kind of see this has been this has been leaking for a while, because you can see it's just water and it's just starting to corrode down there as well, all up in this area. I have a paper towel back there soaking up most of this old, nasty, dirty coolant that has never been really changed. So, yeah, this is an indication. Replace your coolant at the specified time that you're supposed to replace it. Do it! Or it's going to turn into that. Nah, but you should replace your coolant at least once a year. Don't quote me on that. I know some manufacturers it's once a year, or every 50,000 miles or something like that, 55,000 miles depending on your manufacturer. I'll definitely make sure I'll have the right information, maybe up on the screen, because I don't like giving wrong information. But you should replace your coolant at least at least in my opinion, once a year, at least. Because you don't want old dirty coolant recirculating, and then it starts to corrode and eats up rubber gaskets, if you know, and it turns into this, and you don't want that. So yeah, replace your coolant. Okay, it ain't the best in the world, but as you can see, I got most of that coolant out. It's still dirty in there, but, and then I clean up the mating surface of where the thermostat housing is going to go. It had some crud and stuff in there, so I'll try to clean most of that out as possible, and clean up around this area as well. I don't have, someone broke my shop vac, but I'll get another one this week, so I'll try to clean some of this stuff by hand and start putting the new thermostat housing on. So, and then I'll put some new coolant in it, and then check for leaks and make sure it runs. I'm also changing the hoses as well, so I got to change this bottom radiator hose as well, so I'm going to start doing that in a moment. But I want to get this housing on, so it wasn't difficult. I just had to kind of maneuver some of these wires out of the way to pull it out, and do the same thing when I put it in as well. So yeah. Just like that, the new one is on. So next steps is to put everything back together, put the new hoses on, and check for leaks. Make sure we bleed the system, make sure it doesn't overheat while it's running, and double check everything, check the car, look over everything. My client did ask me to see if there was anything else that may need service, so I'll make a list of things that I see, and I'll give that to them so that they can, you know, do what they need to do and check that off the list, and then we'll go from there. So I'll start putting everything back together, and we should be good. But there it is, the new housing. New versus old, cruddy, and disgusting. Yeah. This is what came out. That's what came out. This is what came out. Literally, this is what came out. That is disgusting, y'all. I don't know what that is. Ugh. Now we are putting in the coolant. I got everything on. New hoses, new thermostat housing. Now the fun part. We are now getting ready to check for leaks. So, pouring in the coolant into my trusty coolant thingy. Yeah, I call it the coolant thingy. It's not a coolant thingy. It's actually a coolant funnel. I think that's right, coolant funnel. And it allows you to add coolant without spilling. See? Mine is everything jumping out. Everything's jumping out. Coolant's jumping out. But yeah, I love this thing. So we are adding coolant. Then I'm gonna bleed the system, check for leaks, and finish everything up. Alright, so we've been running for about 15 minutes now. Still no leaks. Nothing's leaking. The fan came on twice, but it's a clutch fan. So you can see the fan running there. But you can actually hear the fan when it kicks on. So you hear the clutch engage and the fan kicks on. And then temp is still sitting right where it's supposed to be sitting. Hasn't moved or anything. And her temp gauge works. So looks like we are done. Car is done. I'm still gonna let it sit and run for a little bit. I'm gonna let it run a little longer, just to be sure, be on the safe side. And so I'll give it about maybe 5 minutes, and I will call the customer and let her know your vehicle's done, and then give her a list of things that I see that I think she should take care of soon, immediately. And these are possible things that can go wrong, so we want to do preventative maintenance. So yeah, I'm gonna get done or get started with that. So I'm gonna get started on that. I'm gonna let her know what's going on, and I'll be back with you guys for final thoughts. So we're back. Customer's been notified. I let her know everything that she needs to do next. Told her, you know, showed her pictures of what was going on or why it was leaking in the first place. Just over time, it got old and brittle. It was never changed. It was never replaced. The coolant was never flushed. And over time, it just, the O-rings in the thermostat housing, that guy right there, it just, over time, the O-rings just wasn't sealing anymore, and coolant was leaking out. And so I checked 3 or 4 times, turned the car off, made sure nothing leaked, turned the car back on, made sure nothing leaked, checked temperature gauge, made sure that it wasn't overheating, made sure that the system was bled properly, all the air was out of the system. And she will be picking it up later today. So thank you for watching this video. I hope I was able to help someone figure out how to do certain things like this and what to do. Here at DOW Motorsports, we like to make sure that we keep the customer in the loop so that they don't feel like they're being, I guess the word is, taken advantage of. And so kept them in the loop, let them know, hey, this is what's going on. I actually yesterday did a pressure check on the cooling system and showed them where the leak was coming from so that they could see it. So we That's basically how you weed out any other possibility. Some people would just say, oh, it's the radiator. There's a whole lot more components to your cooling system other than just the radiator that will allow or cause leaks or overheating. So one of the best ways to do that is to pressurize the system to see if there's any leaks internally and externally. So we're done with this vehicle. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss another video. I have more content coming. I had a week where I had to deal with some other things, and so, but I have other content coming, so you don't want to miss another video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.